So England have a lead of 241 runs by the end of day two of the second test in Manchester. And South Africa have a huge mountain to climb. That is at their own doing. Um, I think it's South Africa's fault that we're sitting in the situation. I think there were mistakes made after mistakes. But let's get into this particular review show. Looking forward to discussing it all with you guys. Before we get started and before we get going, please subscribe to this channel. Please click that notification bell for all future videos as well, please. It's very important that you do so. Also, smash the like button, also comment, also share, also do all of those things too, because it's very important that we get into recommended feeds. Download the latest issue of Cricket Fanatics magazine monthly. Every issue is 100% free straight to your inbox every month. The link is on the screen as well as in the description. And also help South African cricket grow and help us grow South African cricket as well as promote South African cricket by becoming a patron today. Link is on the screen as well as in the description. And if you want our reports, our updates, our features, go to cricketfanaticsmag.com for all your updates. So let's talk about this game. Let's talk about what went wrong. Looking forward to seeing what you guys have to say in the live chat. Please note that this is also a call-in show. The link is in the live chat of this particular show. In the live chat at the top, it's pinned. Click on that, come through, and have a conversation with me. So let's discuss today's game. A very good evening and welcome to Cricket Fanatics magazine. This is your review show. I'm your host Khalid, and this is the show where we talk about everything that has to do with South Africa against England at Manchester in the second test between the two sides. Guys, it's quite a grim couple of days for South Africa of test cricket. Mistake after mistake after mistake has been made. This is the match situation for you guys. South Africa scored 151 in the first innings. England replied with 415 for 9 declared. Two massive, massive centuries from Ben Foakes and Ben Stokes. Massive in the context of the game, not massive in the runs that were on the board. The two of them put together an extraordinary partnership to take England deep into the lead. That was where the game changed. South Africa started off the day beautifully. They were sitting in a situation where England started off poorly. And Anrich Nokia struck today, got the two danger men out that was settled overnight. And South Africa had their tails up before lunch. I hoped that after lunch that they would have continued with that pressure and that impact from the bowlers, fast bowlers at least. Coming after a break like lunch, generally speaking, you always hear them say, bring on your two best bowlers after lunch. Because most likely it is a weak point for batters or maybe there's a chance for you to get a nick off after that break. Obviously, the concentration is broken. You're leaving, and you're coming back out to the middle. Anrich Nokia was bowling with an incredible amount of gas. The ball was reverse swinging before lunch as well. So that is a bit of a concern for me that they didn't keep the pressure on by bowling Anrich Nokia after lunch. They went to their two spinners and early. The whole reason for the two spinners was for South Africa to bowl them on day 3 and 4 while England is trying to chase down our massive target that we supposedly were supposed to set. The plan went out the window when we were bowled out for 151. And the top six need to take all the criticism for that. That mistake was made. Now you can't give up after that mistake has already been made to pick they decided that they're going to bat first because they wanted to back their batters. And they obviously picked two spinners, so it suited that too. And that was the strategy at first. It didn't go to plan because our batters didn't put on enough runs on the board. Simple as that. Then England came in and we put the pressure back on them again. We were looking like we were going to bowl them out for quite for a lower total. We put our we bowled brilliantly towards the end of the first day, bowled brilliantly in the morning of the second day, and then we took our foot off the throats of England, bringing in the spinners earlier than I expected them to play. And that gave Ben Foakes and Ben Stokes opportunities to get their eye in, rotate the strike, smack sixes, get boundaries, get runs on the board, and took the pressure back off themselves and put it back on South Africa again. Especially why I'm so upset about Nokia not bowling is because Nokia has taken Ben Stokes' wicket so many times in the past. And that irritates me that they didn't keep the pressure on them by bowling Nokia after the lunch break. Now, congratulations to Ben Stokes and Ben Foakes, the two Bens, Foakes and Stokeses. Congratulations to both of them for doing what they did. They batted beautifully, but this pitch is now looking good for South Africa. And I know it maybe be me wishful thinking and hoping for the best, but there's no reason why we can't at least score the amount of runs that are on the board, the deficit. At least we can score the deficit minimum requirement over here, guys. Um, Obviously, you hope that South Africa can chase us down, put on a good total, and then day 3, 4, the spinners still come into play. That needs what South Africa need to do now is to try and bring themselves back into their game plan. Take the game plan out of the bin, uncrumple it, and try to get it back again. And the only way I think that they can do that right now by batting long, by batting deep, by tiring out the English bowlers, and putting on a good lead. We have the players in this team that have the capabilities to do that, and I'm going to be optimistic here and hope that they can play a proper innings and give us the innings that they never gave us the first time around. They have a lot of making up to do. So that's my little rant with regards to the day's play. Let me get Lorenzo on. Welcome to the show, brother. Take it away.
Uh, Hi, Khalid, you good?
I'm all right. I'm all right.
Yeah, same here. First of all, man, I think credit must go to England as well. I think they played fantastically well today, especially the two pins, Folksy and Stokesy. I think they what they kind of so they kind of they their innings is giving me hope. If you get what I mean. Can you hear me properly?
Yeah, I can hear you perfectly.
Okay.
You're right there
Yeah,
as
their
well.
innings is
I agree with you. It
yeah
is giving us hope.
they giving me hope because just the way they applied themselves, even to a certain extent, Zach Crawley as well. I think he was under the cosh and he showed some grit actually, and their partnership with I think it was Ollie Pope last night. I think that set them up nicely as well. So a lot of credit must go to England and other better today. I'm with you. I think the pitch is flat. As you can see, I just saw when Leachy was bowling now, and that the ball is
He's coming
it's
up.
a very abrasive service, so the ball won't stay new for long. So that will come in our favor. We saw when the ball gets a bit softer, it's easier to bat. So that gives me hope. Um, but yeah, I think for me, I'm very disappointed in Dini Alga today. I think
Mm.
we hit the nail on the head there. I think his captaincy was today was absolutely shocking to me. Um, we got two early wickets this morning. I actually took off work today. So yeah, we took two early wickets this morning, and I thought, okay, we in with a shout here. And then they went to lunch. After lunch, we got another wicket, I think, and then Stokesy, and the score was 143 for one when folks came into bed. But my thing is this, it should have been way earlier. For me, after lunch, we should have went with the two best bowlers, which is Kagiso
Yeah,
Rabada and Anrich Nokia.
agreed.
Why he bowled the two spinners was baffling to me. It was almost like if we selected the two spinners, so he was kind of under pressure or forced into submission to bowl the two spinners in tandem. But I think that put all the pressure off the England batters, and you could see Ben Folks whenever the seam is on, he's struggling. But as soon as you bring on the spin, he's actually very comfortable against spin because his first 100, his maiden 100, he scored in Sri Lanka in goal. And we know how it spins there. So the guy can play spin, and you can see he's favoring the leg side. And to be honest with you, Hama was shocking today, as well as Kesamara. It's both of them. They didn't bowl well at all. Our best bowler was Norkia. But yeah, I'm still having faith. I think we can, if we can score. Yeah, this is gonna be sounding ridiculous now.
Mm.
But if we can manage to score 400, 420, 450, um, we we can without two spinners, providing the ball well, we can still claw this game back, either for a draw or for a win. But I think the draw is out of the picture here.
Mm.
It's way too early. Tomorrow's
I
day
mean,
three, and we still and we betting exactly.
surely,
So yeah, but
surely,
I'm
if
still
England can
optimistic that
put on, surely if England can put on what they put on, we can do the same. I mean,
yes,
surely on this
exactly.
week. I mean, I know you mentioned Simon Harmer over there, Keshav Maharaj. I do think though Keshav got more spin out of the wicket though than Simon. Simon didn't look like the bowler that people were
Yeah,
hyping
yeah, he
up
did.
before this test match. So I'm
No,
getting a
he
little,
didn't.
but my so that bothers me because and I was told that that Simon can get spin out of even non-spinning wickets. So I wanted to see that happen, and I haven't really necessarily seen that. Um, but these two openers, I mean, like I said it in the first time around, they have the right temperament. They have the right temperament to be able to get us into a good situation and dig us out of this trouble. Out of trouble, at least minimum a
Yeah,
draw, possibly if we can even manage that. But I just hope that they play their game here. They play to the conditions now. They look at the conditions. They realize how things are going down here. They realize that the ball is getting older quicker. They realize all those things that you mentioned, and they get stuck in. Let's get Aaron on the show quickly. Welcome to the show,
yeah.
bro. Your
Good
thoughts
evening,
on this
gents.
particular match? I mean,
But
obviously, you're obviously delighted.
Yeah, obviously, very, very good day for England. Brilliant to see Ben Stokes registering his first Test century as captain of the England and Wales men's Test team. And Ben Foakes, I mean, Lorenzo, as you rightfully said, his first Test century in 1,388 days. He's been waiting almost 4 years for this exact moment. What a knock. Take a bow, 113 not out, and very much England's day. Very, very happy and very impressed with how the three lines have played up in Manchester today.
Yeah, Lorenzo, you wanted to say something? Sorry, before I go into Aaron. Hello. I think he's gone.
Oh,
He'll come back. Okay. So Aaron, the wicket. Let's talk a little bit more about this. Um, it's looking like it's flattening out a little bit more. It looks like South Africa has a little bit more control over the way the ball's moving a little bit. Yeah, we
in
saw here the
comparison to
first.
day one. Yeah, I would agree. I would agree.
I'm clutching on straws here, bro. Really, literally, I am. I'm looking for any single positive to get us out of this because, my word, you guys batted really brilliantly. At least those two batted really brilliantly. Showed us how we can bat, but it's not baseball at all. Not at all. You guys are not necessarily playing baseball here. You played
Some players were.
traditional test cricket today, man. Come on.
Apart from Brody and Ollie Rob coming out with a cover drive today. That was some
But
vintage
they've been
baseball, but
they've been doing that always. Like how many times does Stuart Broad do this against South Africa?
yeah,
Like
true.
he always seems to score quick 20s against us. Lorenzo, sorry, I wanted to ask you before I came to Aaron. Is there something you wanted to say before you left?
yeah, I wanted to ask Aaron a question, but before I'll just speak about the protest for now. I just feel that
No,
with
you
the
can
wicket
ask
flattening.
him a question too. You can ask him a
Okay,
question too.
okay.
Yeah.
So I'll go ahead and ask him then. So everyone talk about baseball and the approach England will take, but today we didn't see any baseball. Eh? And actually, I enjoyed how they played today. They actually applied themselves, and it wasn't anything flashy. I think Stokes showed signs of it. We thumped I mean Giddy straight on the wicket,
Oh yeah.
but it wasn't like he threw his wicket away when he got to 50 and the rest shots. He actually applied himself in similar to similar folks here as well. I think they applied themselves and got themselves in and batted long, and that's why England is in such a strong position.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. I think you've articulated that quite well, Lorenzo. It wasn't vintage Bazball. It wasn't the Bazball that we've seen against New Zealand and India. But again, we talk about adapting to conditions, adapting to game situations. I think England did that quite brilliantly today. And I know, rightfully so, the likes of Ben Stokes and Ben Foakes will get the vast majority of the accolades. But the groundwork was set by the likes of Zach Crawley and Johnny Bairstow as well. So for England, really impressed. Very, very happy with how they applied themselves today. We always talk about that word here on the channel, application. It's so important in Test match cricket in terms of recognising scenarios and game day situations. And I think England have done that a lot better, in particular in comparison to that first Test. So we did see little glimpses of Bazball from the likes of Stuart Broad and Ollie Robinson towards the end of the innings, but completely agree. This was a different England today, a much more structured, but at the same time, a very clinical and ruthless England. And that is why we're in such a fantastic position heading into the morning session on day 3 tomorrow.
Yeah, I agreed. And then I just want to come back to South Africa, Khalid. I think there will be a lot of pressure on our batting because we see the pitch is flat. Let's not kid ourselves here. This is now the opportunity for our batters. This is now the opportunity for our batters to come to the party, Khalid. And if we fail in the second innings now tomorrow, then I don't want it to be any excuses from the live chat or from you or from anyone. No excuses at all, because this is actually a flat track. No excuses at all. So I don't know if Rassie, what's wrong with Rassie? Is he going to bat or what's the issue there?
Update quickly. The medical team has done an assessment of Rassie van der Dissen's left index finger and commenced the appropriate medical care and will be monitored overnight. So we only know tomorrow.
Is there maybe a replacement or not? It's only concussion.
Yeah, only concussion replacements.
Yeah, so that's bad.
I suggest Lorenzo, you fly over there quickly.
Yeah, I'll just baseball it. So yeah, a lot of pressure will be on our batting. I think Markram needs to come to the fore. If Markram comes out tomorrow in score 100, I think that will set up the game very, very nicely. But it all depends on the start. Helga and Erwe is going to give us tomorrow morning. I think tomorrow morning, if we can get that first hour out of the way to lunch, 0 wickets down, 100 runs on the board, 120 on the board. I think the test match will be set up nicely from there. So I have yesterday I had my rant. So today I'm a bit positive. Going into tomorrow, the Springboks will win tomorrow morning against the Wallabies, and the Proteas will take it forward from there.
I agree with one of those, and it's not the Proteas one.
Yeah, I'm bringing in Ashwani now. I'll get to you now, Ashwani. I have a hectic weekend of sport because it's going to be interesting what's going to happen because we play the first Premier League game of the weekend. United.
You can just skip that, man.
That starts the whole day.
You can, in
off,
fairness. You could just skip that one.
No.
For the sake of your health, mate, I'd skip that one.
After beating Liverpool 2-1, what you talking about, bro?
Yeah, full storm.
You're gonna play only your proper opponent this weekend, so I don't know what you're talking about. Okay, Ashwani, back. Welcome to the show, bro. Okay, I want you first and foremost to give me your opinion on how South Africa approached this batting approach. Then I want you to give me what you liked about obviously England, and then you can go ahead and ask the panel if you want to ask the panel any questions.
Yeah, first of all, hello to everyone. Yeah, unfortunately, I don't watch the test match too much because of my busy schedule. But so far, what I saw in the test match, I think South Africa has made the mistake of playing extra spinner. Though I think many will disagree with him because obviously Harmer's record in England is fantastic. His record in Essex, where he played for the County Essex, and this summer he won the match for Essex too. But I think you should not disturb your winning squad. That's what I saw in recent past years. and South Africa made mistake there. I think they should persist with Marco Jansen there. And secondly, I think from the past 2 to 3 years, where after the departure of their legendary batting lineup, South Africa is struggling with their batting lineup from a long time, and obviously they are struggling with their middle order. So I think obviously every team has that golden period of their batting lineup. India has Sehwag, Tendulkar, Dravid, Lakshman. England has Trott, Peterson, Bell, Cook there, and Australia and West Indies too. So I think South Africa will take time, but I think they should have to find out the players which playing red ball cricket continuously, and they have to find out that players likes of Peter Milan, Ryan Nicholton, who is performing well for South Africa, and obviously in domestic cricket, and he's done well in county cricket. So I think you have to find out the guys who perform well in red ball cricket, and the guys like Markram and Rassi Venderson, they don't playing red ball cricket for a long time. Obviously, due to their busy schedule in international cricket, you have to find out why Markram is not performing well. Because in the first 18 innings, the guy has scored 1,000 runs, and he looks like the what next great batsman for South Africa. But after that, his progress get hampered. So what's the main reason behind this? I think it's due to the lack of red ball games. He's not given, or I think it's not like that these players are bad overnight due to they are not performing. I think they are depriving of red ball cricket, and one suggestion I want to give, I think South Africa should start their South Africa A tours, which is very necessary for their uh, build up for their next pipeline. And obviously, due to the advent of new leagues, it will be difficult for made schedule out of this. But I think for your next pipeline, it is necessary, because you can give chances to the players like Ryan Rickelton, Peter Malan, or the guys who done well in the domestic cricket. There are a lot of guys who done exceedingly well. So I think South Africa should give them a chance, and obviously it also add to their bench strength. You have the guys like Wesley Marshall, Joshua Richards, Neil Brand, and David Bedingham. I think South Africa should seriously consider him for the red ball cricket, and I think it make their red ball squad very much established. You can say that their second lineup. So I am disappointed with South Africa's performance, but I think you should give credit to English team, and they made use of the new ball really well. And these old use of Brody and Anderson, I think they are fantastic with the dual balls. Whenever the red cherries with their hats and the conditions favoring them, they are unplayable. And I think they are the best new ball pair in the world. With the Duke ball, it's unplayable to play them. And for the next day, I think South Africa has to play miraculously well. One or two players should score big 100 so they can save this test. I don't falter South Africa's fast bowlers. I think the falter is in South Africa's batting, and hopefully in the next test, South Africa can bring out Ryan Nicholton into the squad, and in the coming matches, I think they should try Vian Mulder too. One of the main reason is I think Vian Mulder is obviously give them that stability at number six. Although his sample size is very small in red ball cricket, but I think he is the guy who can give you the stability at number six, and I think he will make South Africa's test lineup a bit more stable.
Okay, thank you, Ashwani. A lot covered over there that we can touch on. I'm going to move this conversation on. Aaron is asking you, how much do you feel that Ben Stokes and Ben Foakes' performance had to do with Dean Alger's decision to not continue with it, bowling our two fast bowlers after lunch?
That's the $1 million question, isn't it? I'm very, very happy you've asked me that. Yeah, I was shocked. I was absolutely shocked. I think Lorenzo actually mentioned it a bit earlier, the decision not to continue to bowl Anric Nortje. I mean, I was flummoxed as a cricket fan, but as an England fan, I was absolutely elated. I was like, oh great, they're gonna have Maharaj and Harmer. We're having this prolonged spell. England are just gonna tap it around, build up the runs and accumulate runs to that partnership. I think it was a little bit questionable, to say the very least. I didn't quite understand the logic or the reasoning behind such a prolonged spell for those two in particular, when the seam did seem the more deadly of the two art forms at Old Trafford, in particular in that afternoon session. But then again, you do have to bat well, and it comes back to application. And England, in particular, those two, Foakes and Stokes, played the situation magnificently. They didn't allow the likes of Maharaj or Harmer absolutely any room to get into rhythm. They started hitting fours and sixes. The strike rotation was consistent as well. So it was a mix of questionable captaincy. Again, I'd like to know Dean's reasons for employing that strategy in the first place. But then again, at the same time, take your hats off to the two Bens. They were absolutely outstanding. And that partnership has put England in a very, very good position indeed.
Yeah, because I mean, this match doesn't look as bad if with the two picking the two spinners doesn't look as bad if you put on a first innings total. We spoke about it in depth about specifically having this particular Old Trafford wicket and this particular ground, knowing that batting first has been the predominantly what people have been doing and setting first innings totals. But what England did, England probably would have done the same thing if the conditions weren't like that the morning of the test. When they looked at when they looked at the wicket and they looked at the overhead conditions, from what I'm hearing, at least our broadcast, I don't know if you get the same broadcast in England. Obviously, Sky is doing our broadcast. I don't know if you guys all watch Sky when it comes to cricket. I don't know how it works there.
Yeah, it's all Sky.
It's all Sky. Okay, cool. So with regards to our broadcast, obviously what we were getting when the guys were talking beforehand, they were all saying it's a very interesting one, yeah, because the pitch is dictating that you bat first. It's scuffing up. It looks a little bit dry. The sun is supposed to come out, but the overhead conditions are telling you that you need to bowl first. And Ben Stokes said at the toss that he would have bowled first, actually. And Algath seemed quite, yes, I won the toss. Yes, we get to do what we actually plan to do. And I can understand that in hindsight, leading up to this test, looking at the weather report, doing all of those type of things. Yes, if the sun was baking, if all of those things happen. But on the morning, us as fans can have a prediction beforehand, and we can also say sit on Twitter or sit on Facebook or wherever we want to sit and say, yes, they made the incorrect decision. But ultimately, the decision needs to be made on that morning of that test, when the covers are open, when they get to see the pitch, when they get to see the weather conditions, all of those type of things. Then you make your decision. Now, that should have pushed South Africa to want to bowl first even more, because our strength is our bowlers. So that's why it was a little bit tricky, in my opinion, with regards to that decision. Now, I don't blame everything on this decision, though, because if South Africa batted well in that first innings, we wouldn't have been complaining about batting first. Nobody would have been complaining about batting first. And now it's all, it's because of that decision. It's not that decision, I feel, because in hindsight, the strategy could work. Because if you look at the situation right now, this situation is actually folding out nicely. The way the pitch is, what happened with the pitch, it's actually working out nicely for it would have worked out nicely for South Africa. Coming into this 3 days, we would have had this period of the flat pitch at Manchester, piling on the runs beyond 400, beyond 500, possibly, if we batted properly like we were supposed to. And they didn't do their jobs right, and that set us on the back foot for instantly. And now your game plan's out of the window. But you can still rewrite it with good innings. Why can't we score hundreds? Why can't we maybe score a double century somewhere?
Because there's someone called James Anderson.
Oh, come on.
And someone else called Stuart Broad and someone else called Ollie Robinson. It does sound very easy, and I know the wicket's flat, but England so far in this test, I know South Africa didn't execute the game plan at all in that first innings, but these England bowlers look so hungry. Ollie Robinson's got a point to prove. Stuart Broad's got a point to prove. Jimmy Anderson's Jimmy Anderson. Again, we can talk about him all night, to be completely honest. This is still going to be very, very tough for South Africa to get a foothold in this game. And it does come back to that first innings. We're seeing it all over the comment section as well. How can you expect the bowlers to try and defend, 151 runs in that first innings. It was poor execution from South Africa. They are now behind the 8 ball. And yes, in theory, it would be fantastic if you have a 100 plus run partnership in the morning session. But against this England bowling attack, the fact that there's also a little bit of grip in that surface as well, in particular, as the wicket gets older and as this test match progresses, England will be licking their lips. 241 runs is the deficit. England could win this tomorrow, and they'll know that in the back of their heads, and they will be absolutely gunning for those 10 wickets in Manchester tomorrow.
So we
Yeah,
can obviously see optimistic side, and obviously I don't blame Aaron for being confident. Of course, you guys have the lead in this match. Yes,
As ball,
Lorenzo?
baby. Confidence.
yeah,
You're playing pouch ball at the moment, liars.
We're playing a
Yeah,
mix of the two, an eclectic mix.
yeah. I just want to come in the Khalid. I think we should have bowled first. I think it was cloud cover. It was the perfect condition for bowling. And
Yeah.
if we bowl first, look, England want to bowl first. So if we bowl first, we sort of take them out of the comfort zone because they want to chase. And if we bowled first, we bowl them out cheaply. Our spinners could still come into the game. Meaning scenario: we bowl first, we bowl them out 550. We bet second, we score 500, 550, 600. Just hypothetically, yeah. Then we can bowl them out twice, where we only bet once. So if my thing is this, if we still had a quality batsman, which Al got backed, then he could have done that. But I think he just foresee that there's no trust in our batting. I won't say he doesn't trust our batters, but he know we're struggling. So I just think he went for the easy option because
I
for
think
me
also
our best option is our bowling. That's our best shoot. So why bet it first when it was Gray up there? I don't know why bet it first. I think that was kind of
yeah, I
ridiculous, and we were due from the start.
I agree with you, but I don't think they expected the cloud cover to be grey for that long, for entire session and a half almost. It was grey.
But it's Manchester. It's
It
it's
is Manchester.
Manchester.
I was just about to
It's
say that,
Manchester.
Lorenzo.
Yeah. So
Spot on.
so it's exactly. But I'm talking about based on before what was said about Manchester going into this test. We were all thinking it's going to be sunny. It's not going to be overcast. Many people were shocked. Come on, Aaron. Even your pundits was shocked that it was so grey the morning of the test match.
It's the
Like
northwest of
even them,
England.
but
Yeah,
even
but
they were shocked.
even Nick Knight at the toss when Elga said he's gonna bat first, you were shocked as well
Yeah.
No,
because I mean
that's
he
a
was like,
shocking
"What are you
decision.
doing?"
They should have
Yeah.
adapted to the conditions. That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying that they shouldn't have. I'm saying they should have adapted their plan. I understand the game plan heading into this test match before the toss. I can understand.
Yeah.
Oh, this is how we're going to go with it. This is the strategy we're going to do. We're going to play two spinners. Probably already told Simon Armour that they're going to play two spinners. This is how we're going to go with this. And then on the morning of the test, when you come to Manchester, you realize that it's a cloud cover and it's been cloud cover for at least 2 hours before the test match. Then at least you should change your mindset on the toss. You play according to the conditions. That's what I'm saying. That's what I've been saying for all forms of cricket, that we played to the conditions and we didn't do that, even though we said we're going to. So now in hindsight, it looks like it is the wrong decision. And I agree that it is the wrong decision at this point in time. But what I'm saying is I understood the strategy going into this match. Look here, Roddy Kleinfeld came on the show before, preview show, and he said, keep the same 11. Because you going with winning momentum into the next match, it could possibly get some nip in the ground that Marco Jansen can get. You have an extra batting security. Plus, if you need to get the off spinner, then Markram can get something out of the wicket. He said rather do that. That was his decision leading into this match.
That
That
would have
was
been
on our
better.
previous show. That was on our
Yeah,
previous
Khalid,
show.
I have one point.
Yeah.
Yeah, Khalid, if you want to play Hammer, I think it should be in the next match because oval is the type of ground where you can play two spinners, and it's the type of ground where many batters from subcontinent, even South African batters, have scored massive centuries there. So I think this is the ideal ground to play Hammer there. I think Manchester and Headingley wicket is has you can say that very similar traits in terms of bounce, and I think it's you can say that if you considered that morning session and evening session, you saw very different things in it. The first session, the sea movement is more as compared to the last session. And the last session is little bit, you can compare it with Durban wicket, or you can say that you played in Australia. So I think South Africa is wrong there. I think if they played with Marco Jensen there, I think they will be more beneficial there. And coming to South Africa's batting approach there, I think in past there are many instances there where South Africa drew the matches. There are examples of Adelaide and Durban where South African batters played 2 3 days and they drew the test match. The
But
famous,
Khalid,
yeah.
can I quickly counter what Aswan is saying? I think we should move away with this two spinners or five seamers or four seamers. I think the biggest problem is not our bowling, it's our batting. So why are we talking about bowlers or spinners and seamers? We covered the we should go with the 7-4 split. Look, Ben Foakes, he batted 7, he scored 100 today. If you have a proper batsman batting at 7, then you won't have this problem.
But we don't
Verreiden
have a
must bat
prop,
7,
we don't have
he mustn't
we
bat
don't have proper
6.
we don't have proper batsmen that are batting from 1 to 7. We don't have one issue. We have
And I know
seven,
Khalid,
six issues.
but at the moment we should make use what we have on tour. On tour we have Kaya Zondo and we have Ryan Rickle today. So what?
But that's
So what?
but that's why I
So
think
why do we have
that's why,
backup batsmen then? If
but
your
that's why
batsman doesn't score, well, it's playing in 11. So why do you have backup batsmen if you're not going to make use of them then? I
in
think
case
that's
there's
ridiculous.
obviously in case there's an injury, that's
Yeah.
why they have extra batters.
But it can't be
but
just.
my point
But
over
it can't
here
be.
is
It can't just
my
be
point,
injuries though. It can't just
but
be
my point
injuries.
over
Khalid,
but my point
yeah,
over here is batting with 7 batters, right? 7 batters. You taking a whole extra person out of that mix. Our best attributes are our bowling attack. That's how we win our test matches. That's how we won all our
Come on,
test matches. Now
guys.
we're weakening the bowling attack to strengthen the batting attack. But in actual fact, it's the whole top order that's the problem. Not only
But Khalid, we must strengthen our
one
batting. We
particular
can't carry
issue.
on like this. We can't.
Strengthen
Why are
our
we
batting by
sugarcoating
picking
it?
the right people.
yeah. Khalid,
That's
I
the
But we
will.
don't
problem.
have
That's
the
the
right.
problem.
Yeah,
Unfortunately, Ryan Rickleton is there. Guys, Zondo is there. They are on tour.
Yes,
So make
and they
use
didn't
of
pick
them.
him.
yeah,
I
Khalid,
completely echo that.
I want to continue Pelly's point. I think the two great sides who ever played the Test cricket, Australia and West Indies. I can give you the example. They played with uh, four-man attack. There is no all-rounder in their team, so they played with that traditional seven batsman approach. Obviously, the seventh man is wicketkeeper and four-man pace attack. And similar with Australia, the inclusion of Sherman and three-man pace attack there. So I think South Africa should add extra batsmen there, so it will give the balance to
Thank you,
their side.
Aswani.
Yes, that's
Yeah,
the point.
I hear you. Lud. I'm not saying that I don't want to see it happen, and I'm not saying that you are wrong in saying that we need to make a 7-4 split here. I'm not saying that either. But what I'm saying is, regardless of that, these batters should bat better. We can't be averaging 27, the top 6.
Agreed. Agreed.
Come on,
I agree
Like,
with you.
that's a revolutionary insight. That Khalid, our batters should be
I
batting
mean,
better. I could say that as an
this is
England fan.
no, because but my point here is, Aaron, it's not a problem that has just come around the corner now. This has been a problem with South Africa for the
How do
last
you
4
solve it then?
years. You need to pick the right players at the right
Who?
occasions. So
Who are they?
my point
Who are
is
they?
here.
Name names.
Just wait. We are already on the
No,
back
Rickleton
foot,
is there.
like I explained yesterday on the show. We're already on the back foot because we didn't give people the right opportunities at the right time already. So we're already on the back foot playing catch up. We are winning test matches because our bowling attack is world class, and no one can deny that. Majority of teams in the world will probably bowl out. I'm very very confident in that. I think we
I
have
agree.
probably the most adaptable bowling attack in the
Yes,
world that
yes.
can change the
415
conditions.
for
Doesn't
9
matter
declared.
where they. Doesn't matter. Well, that I feel is a decision in the match that changed that match. The two spinners coming on after lunch was a big mistake. The amount and still keeping them on for as long as they did.
Yeah, it
They
was.
were smacking them for sixes after facing Homer in the first over already they hitting for 6. So that already tells you about their mentality. So the mentality was out there to punish them. I think it was a poor decision. There were a lot of poor decisions made here, but I don't think we in this predicament because we chose to bat first. I don't think that because over conditions should aid what? Swing, is it not? The ball wasn't swinging in the air. The ball was moving off the surface. So whether it was sunny or whether it was overhead conditions, it wouldn't have changed the way the ball moved in the air. That's my point. We batted poorly, we completely misread the pitch, coming forward too far, playing way too late in some occasions, not playing maybe a little bit aggressively enough, maybe perhaps. I don't know what it was. I'm not a batsman for South Africa, but ultimately the weather conditions, the overhead conditions didn't affect the way the ball moved. You know that, Aaron, sitting here, you know that. I know that, and the rest of the fan base knows that too. It's easy to blame the toss because we were bowled out for 151. So it's easy to blame the toss. If we just batted properly, we wouldn't be even if we got 250, we wouldn't have been in a shit
Yeah.
situation like we are now.
Yes.
We batted extremely poor, and that's what got us into the situation. And this batting attack, we need to start really putting, like I've mentioned on previous shows before. I put question marks on Alga, I put question marks on Sadal, I put question marks on KP. KP I was a little bit lenient with because I think it's very early in his
Yeah.
test career. There's
It
no
is early
experience
days.
around him. He's a young number 3. I don't think you would go after Ollie Pope because he's a young number 3.
No, God,
Maybe
no.
so similarly for South Africa, maybe not young in age, but young by test match caps. Then you've got a new number 4 that hasn't batted number 4 in test cricket before, leading up to this test match. Then you've got a 5 that is out of form. Then you've got a 6 that is still trying to find his feet as a wicketkeeper batter. Now, and then you're going to bring in a 7 that is inexperienced in test cricket too. So now that's the problem with South Africa. We don't have enough players that are sure about their game, that they can come into a test match and play with confidence. Hopefully, if Ryan gets a chance, that he does do so. I hope that happens. I really, really,
If
really
that's the
hope that
case, though,
happens.
Yeah,
if that's
yeah,
the case, and
Khalid,
there's all these
Khalid,
question marks,
yeah, I have a one
who would
point.
be your top 6?
Yeah, I
Who'd
have
be
one
your top
point.
6, Khalid?
Yeah, yeah, I
It's
have
easy,
one
Aaron.
point.
I can mention it too.
Everybody's talking.
Yeah, I have one point regarding South Africa's batting. If you take the case of Keegan Peterson, that guy has played over 100 first-class matches, as compared to obviously Dean Elgar is experienced guy. Cyril Irving is same. He's experienced red ball player. If you saw in South Africa's franchise cricket, so these guys getting they have ample amount of red ball experience because they playing red ball cricket day in day out. And the guys like Markram, Ressi Van der Dussen, obviously Ressi comes late in the side at the age of 30 and above, but after this, that guy don't play that much amount of red cricket. My issue is that the guy like Markram and Van der Dussen, from which we expected they are excellent players, but South Africa should look at those guys who are performing in South Africa domestic franchise cricket. The examples of that guys like Peter Malan, Rudy Second, who's also a wicketkeeper batsman. I think these
But they did
guys.
do that, Ashwani. They did that. How do you
No,
think they
Rudy.
found the next generation of batters? By
No,
looking
no.
at the domestic scene. Carl
Yes.
Reynolds averaging 50, Ryan Rickleton averaging 40, Cyril Ewe averaging 40, KP averaging 50. It's not like we picked guys that are not performing domestically. It's just that test cricket is a whole different level. That's as simple as that. Test cricket is not a game for amateurs. It's just not. It's not T20 cricket and ODI cricket where you can change the team every single second week. Some of these guys need for a long time in the middle to play. That's just unfortunately how Test cricket works. You can see how other countries operate with their players when their players are out of. Look at England.
We're not a good example
Ben
at the
Folks,
moment.
for example, you're not a good example.
We're
I
seventh.
know you're not a good
We're
example
7th
right
in the
now.
championship. We're not
No,
a
no,
good
no, 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 no.
example.
Aaron, I know it's difficult to. I'm talking about from a strategic point of view. Still to the day you are in the top. You could say in the top 3 of cricket nations in the world. It's a cycle in England. You're gonna find your
Yes,
next
I agree.
generation of. So, but what do you guys do when the cycle is when it's not working for you? That's what South Africa need to look at. Not look at what nations are doing when they're on top. It's what nations are doing when they're not, because we don't have the same amount of talent pool to pick from. And that's why I'm saying, look at what they did with regards to Ollie Pope. And I mention this over and over and over and over. And I'm going to continuously repeat this. When Ollie Pope came into the England team, there were some experienced guys in that team. Where did they bat him? They batted him at 6 against South Africa. They gave him protection. What did we do to our youngsters We throw
Yeah.
them in
Yep.
the most difficult situations and expect them to swim. And then we go back and we say, no, but just go pick another guy from
That's so
domestic
true,
cricket.
Khalid.
Then we
That's
just go
so
pick
true.
another guy from domestic cricket. We don't put plans in place to try and improve our players. That's our problem. And now we're in a bigger problem because our most experienced batter in the team is not scoring hundreds. So how are these youngsters going to learn how to score hundreds if their own captain is not scoring hundreds? 13 matches without 100. It needs to happen at some point. And I'm sorry, I know I try to be not critical about players, but they need to be criticized. Unfortunately, I had a problem with
Agreed.
Cyril Eve's selection
Yeah,
initially because I said, but there's other openers that have a better conversion rate because we're going to need our openers to score hundreds on a regular basis, not just 100 here and then a couple of ducks here and twos and threes and 40s here, and then all of a sudden they come out to the closet again with another 100. I don't want that type of inconsistency from our top order. So rather you can make a calculated guess. I mean, people make calculated gambles all the time. You don't know it's going to come off. You just take the one that's going to be most likely going to be the chance to succeed. And I feel that they didn't do that initially. Peter Malan at the time should have been the next in line. They went for another person similar age from a different province based on what the massive 100 that he put on in for the Dolphins. That was the reason they brought in Saron. So I'm not criticizing Saron because I believe that whoever's there deserves to be there. That's not my decision to make. But once they're there, you can start analyzing it and say, maybe that is true. Maybe those stats prove that, for example, that he's not maybe someone that can convert. Perhaps because if he can't do it in domestic, how's he going to do it in international cricket? I mean,
Yeah.
Test cricket is the pinnacle of cricket. Hardest format. Even the best of the best struggle. Look at Virat Kohli, how he's struggling in Test cricket at the
yeah.
moment to adapt. Now, Test cricket is changing, as well as cricket is changing in the world. So it's making it very difficult. And I'm not making excuses. We need it. My point is here. We are blaming the toss, and we all saying Dean Alger should have bowled first because now ultimately you can say so after you get bowled out for 151. But the conditions is not what affected our batting collapse. That's what I'm saying.
And that's a valid point.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
England's
Khalid,
bowling as well.
1 second. I have a point regarding South Africa's A program, which I mentioned you earlier. I think South Africa should be proud of that. The test version is that thing they performing consistently there as compared to ODIs or T20. But I think if you look at South Africa's A program, I didn't hear any South Africa A matches. India recently announced their A squad against New Zealand A. England continuously putting up their line squad. When they going to the Ashes, they constantly travel with their line squad so they can get practice matches. And I think the A teams are the pipelines for the senior men's team. So I think South Africa should, I think, continue or begin their A2s, which will benefit them. And the players which you mentioned, guys like Peter Malan or the guys who are performing well in red ball cricket. So South Africa had the option, management had the option to pick players from that team. So it will help them to increase their talent pool.
Yeah, it will. And but we need to also look at things a
We
lot
don't have
more.
money.
That's another thing. Yeah. That's another thing. That's another problem. Actually, we need to get to that still. That's another show for another time.
Yeah.
But getting into the stats, I know it's easy for us as fans, like because we only have certain things available to us. We only have Crick Info and Crick Buzz, wherever you look at your stats, etc., to find out about these players and how they're doing in domestic cricket. Watching them in person, like a batter in person, is a whole different ball game altogether. And also
Yes.
looking at the way they score their runs, like for example, when we're finding an opener, we need to look at the openers that are probably doing exceptionally well against the new ball in South African cricket, scoring runs in the power in the first couple of sessions, how they're doing in the sessions, and maybe that's how we look for our next opener, rather than just looking at guys that have scored massive centuries and then saying, okay, these guys have scored the runs, this is their average, they're going to get into the show. Thanks, Aaron, for coming. You'll be back tomorrow. So the way we look at the stats is we need to look a lot bit deeper into when we select players. We also need to think about mentality because The one aspect of Test cricket that the domestic cricket doesn't have is the fact that you're playing in front of a full stadium under high pressure, where the ball is coming, when two, three, four,
Yes.
five world class bowlers are running at into the wicket, bowling at you. Mental strength is most important out of everything else, and they need to obviously tap into that somehow, find out a way on how they can find the next generation of batters. Thanks to Ashwani as well for coming on. He also has to go. Lorenzo, what's your thoughts on that? Because I think the recruitment stage is a problem that South Africa's having too. Is finding the guys that have the right mentality to play Test cricket. Because
I think
you know as a cricketer, you know
yes.
yourself. I'm pretty sure you will know as a club cricketer as well. Some players look better than
Yeah.
their stats prove.
Exactly. No, I agree with you. I think the problem is deeper than they call it. I think our cricket structures is not as good as we think it is. Look at rugby. I always use rugby as a perfect example because they get it. Why do rugby get it right and not cricket in Africa? Saru always get it right. Look at the Craven Week. Those guys, if they perform, they get bursaries at Marty's, UCT, UWC. Where do they go from there? They go play varsity cup. They get more exposure there. So for me, I think the problem is deeper than that. I think we need to have more
I can tell you what the
astute.
problem is. Because
Yes, go ahead.
we have the same structures in place in cricket. We have the varsity club cricket, we have club cricket, we have all of these things in place. I think the difference in rugby is, like, for example, I knew a friend of mine that was in grade 11 with me already. He was playing first team for Rondebosch already at the time. He got offered a contract to play for the Bulls and the Sharks already at a young age, like that already. Before he even was 18, they were already approached him to say, when you turn 18 years, a contract for you, are you going to sign it for us? Come play for us.
Exactly.
Immediately, the scouting system is in place. But the difference with rugby and cricket is simple. It's money. And
Yes.
not only money with regards to creating tournaments, creating structures, and doing all of those things. Money with regards to offering cricketers a proper plan to the rest of their life. Because I know cricketers that were extremely talented, played under 19 World Cup, for example. I'll give you an example, Herman Rolfus. He was
Yeah.
exceptional talent, played under 19 World Cup, hit 100 against New Zealand, was an exceptional talent. He got a contract at the age of already, I think, 17. He was offered a contract by the Titans. He turned it down because he was getting A's at school too, and he was doing engineering, and he was going through acing engineering, and the money in that compared to the money that he was going to get in cricket, you weigh up your options and then you're going to take what's better for the money at the end of the day. Cricket doesn't
Exactly.
have, for me, cricket doesn't give you a sustainable plan where you can survive in South Africa because you're not earning enough money to be able to live basically even on your own as a semi-pro or Division Two cricketer unless you are a superstar. So the basics in rugby are there already. You already can earn money at school level playing for provincial or clubs or for franchises, etc. The opportunities
Yes.
for you to earn money in rugby is a lot more. Then
And
you
in
go
rug,
even and you go even
and in,
further for rugby. You need nothing but
exactly
boots.
only boots. And I think in the
Yeah,
rugby is you have under 17s, 18s, 19s, under
yeah.
21s, under 22s, under 23s. So there's structure there. There's a pipeline. Unfortunately, in cricket we don't have that, and I think money is the issue.
Bro,
Um,
you know how many times I go to Kamajola weeks and I watch the talent and I'm like, oh my God, look at this talent. And then you turn around the next year, none of those players came through the system.
and the thing is, Khalid, they go back to the they talented players. They play. Where do they go? They go from Kaima Jolowik. They go play club cricket. But CSA doesn't do anything for club cricket, so those players don't even develop further there. So now they get a job where they earn a nice wage because they studied. So I think that's where the problem is. Now they fall out of love with cricket because cricket didn't
Mm,
look after them. They love
mm,
the game. They have the talent to be there, but unfortunately, the system let them down. So I think that's the
mm.
issue we have, and
Yep.
that needs to get looked at. I think the new director of cricket needs to have a serious look at that, and then just play it accordingly because we can't lose. I mean, there's many. There's a guy in my club, Adrian Ditway. He's a lovely, lovely cricketer. He plays. He's currently in England. He's playing there. He's a good cricketer. He can play. He can. I can tell you now. He can, if you play for the Paul Rocks, he will perform. He's that
Yep.
good. But unfortunately, there's no money to contract
Hmm.
these players.
Yeah. Come on, bring on another caller quickly, Hussein, before we end of the show. Hussein, what would you like to say, brother? Welcome back to the show.
How's it, guys? Yeah, just on the topic you were talking about now with club cricket and that stuff. Also, another point to mention is the fact that the talent pool in South Africa compared to what it overseas in the Test cricket arena, I mean, in the 4-day cricket arena, is much more weaker this side than compared to what you get in the county championship and stuff like that. I feel
You
like,
know what?
like,
You know
yeah,
what? Can I say that? Let's stop at that point first before you move on, because
yeah,
I think that's a misconception. Because there's so
It
many
is.
teams in the county system, Division One and Division Two. There's so many teams. It's impossible, because then that means that England should be producing fast bowlers like Rabada and Nokia like on the regular, like that. If the bowling is that good, that's my, because it's so many teams. I feel that the bowling standard is maybe not as good as what they make it out to be, because they're
To be.
obviously trying to promote their brand too. I think that because South Africa's domestic system is so small, it's more concentrated. I actually think you find more better bowlers in South Africa
Yes.
in our domestic system than you do in county cricket, to be honest.
but then why our batsmen are finding it so hard to step up to the international circuit?
So
In
Okay.
so
Okay. Can I just say something quickly, Khalid?
yeah, you go.
Okay. Even Kevin Peterson said it, bro. That the English county system is not all
Oh no, we lost him at the perfect time. Okay, I'll try to explain it to you. Maybe you can come back and give you say. You see, South Africa's problems in our batting, goes a lot deeper than just because of our domestic scene. Because okay, here's Lorenzo back. Okay, Lorenzo, you can take it from me.
I I'm back.
Yeah, go ahead.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah,
Yeah.
can you hear you fine?
Sorry, man. Sorry, man. Yeah. So even Kevin Peterson said that the English system is not all that good as well, because he came at the age of 32, 33, 34. He went back to county cricket after a year of absence, and when he was the leading run scorer. Ashwell Prince said that. Alfred Peterson said that they played there, they tried and tested. So I think there's a misconception that the South African system, the pool of players we have is not that great. That's why our batting is struggle. But why do we produce such good bowlers then? If our
Bowlers,
batsman is
yeah.
struggling, Marco Jansen played domestic cricket. So whether we didn't pick him from school. He played domestic cricket.
Yeah,
So
but
I think there's a
what
big
makes
misconception that because we're South Africa, because we have not so many teams, that we don't have a quality system. But look at England. They have how many teams, how many divisions, but still, even KP said that it's not.
even they struggling to find batters. So like, I mean,
Yeah.
even though the county system so strong, but you know what it is, also as an observation that I'm making now, looking at it now, a lot of South Africa's strengths in the past with all our bowlers, it comes from uncoachable things that
Yeah.
sets us apart from the rest. So for example, Marco Jansen, 7 foot, almost 7 foot, left arm seamer, natural swing. Andrik Nokia bowls 150 plus naturally. KG Rabada used to bowl 150, almost 145, 150. He had this natural, beautiful action. It's all things that you can't necessarily coach. And then we take these raw diamonds and we master them into amazing things. The thing as well is, in South Africa, it's a lot easier to be a bowler than a batter, because of money wise. It's a much easier to become a bowler than a batter. And
Oh,
because a
true.
lot of our players coming through the system, it's easy to just pick up a ball and bowl. And everybody as a kid wants to be a batter. That's like that's the conception, obviously, everywhere. So naturally speaking, why our batting is declining is because of the amount of players, I feel, coming through the system and putting pressure on the guys that are on top. So because our club system is deteriorating, our club system has deteriorated a hell of a lot since what it
Yeah.
used to be in the past.
It's bad.
When you talk to the likes of Fanny de Villiers and you talk to the likes of even Ashwell Prince and them, they will play for the Proteas, then they'll come back, play for their province, and then they'll play for their club. Now we don't have the same thing. Rabada doesn't play domestic 4-day cricket. He doesn't go play for his club. You don't have our batters doing the same thing. So the competition is not getting strong because they're not playing against the best. So now automatically you're putting people into a situation. You have Calverena, who is probably one of the top young talents over the last 4 years. He's coming to Test cricket and he's struggling in certain conditions, and that's natural in Test cricket for that to happen. I think that we also get very impatient because we want instant fixes, but we don't do the right things when we have the power to do the right things, and that's my issue. We need to start making
But
better decisions.
but you see, the thing is, right, we have a guy like Keegan Peterson. He's reached 30. We have a guy like Irvia who's also reached 30, and we have a few other guys that are in their late 20s and are going into their early 30s. By now they should be in their kind of like prime peaking, but they're only getting into the career now. They're only like 10 test matches in, 15 test matches in. But why is that? Why couldn't they have started their career just a bit earlier? And now, in this period of year being 25, 30,
Exactly.
40, 50, you know what I
That's
mean?
exactly my point. Why weren't we saying 4 years ago, KP Peterson is going to be the next number 3 batter for South Africa?
Exactly.
So now the problem is they put that on Zubair Hamza very early.
And sorry, wait, Carly, quick one. And to top that all up, in our system now going forward, there's no one else to say that 17, I mean, 20, 21, 22, that we can say, hey, look, this guy's going to be the next player. This guy's playing test cricket from now to be the next big thing going to the future. We got Kaya Zondo and, okay, besides Raya Dickerton, but Kaya Zondo is also like towards the end of his career. And he's, you know?
Yeah. But also what makes it difficult is because our youngsters now are all setting their eyes on T20 leagues and T20 money. So 4-day cricket is going to deteriorate. I'm very worried about the 4-day game. I'm very
Oh.
worried that it's going to deteriorate because a young guy like Deva Brewer should be playing first-class cricket, man. He should be in the nets playing red ball cricket so he can get into the test team because there is a number 3 batter that can play, that can be the future for South Africa if we identify him right now. But we haven't seen him play enough 4-day cricket because everybody wants him to play in every league around the world. So instead of trying to get himself ready for the 4-day cricket season, he's now playing in all around the world, playing T20 cricket. He can make a career out of his cricket career out of just playing T20 cricket alone. So we're gonna be sitting with a problem. It's the same thing with Senitebe Klashile. I identified him at Kaimajolo as a red ball cricketer. He was scoring all his runs in time cricket in Kaimajolo, scoring hundreds at Kaimajolo, long hundreds, scored 300 runs with Jason Niemand at the top of the order for Border. They were one of the top teams in that particular Kaimajolo. Then we see Klashile get his debut in T20 cricket. You see,
Yeah.
so I'm like, what is going on with the planning with regards to these players? Because Sinetembe Klashile has always been a red ball cricketer in my eyes, more than a T20 cricketer. But now South Africa pushed him into a T20 and international cricket. That now changed his whole mentality now, I feel, because now he's also focusing on the T20 game. And subsequently, you end up spoiling your cricket, actually, because you don't get the best out of yourself. Because for red ball cricket, it's where you learn the skills. Lorenzo's back again. Thank you, Lawrence, for your brothers giving us a little tips here. He's get paid, eh? He got paid. Thank you for the super chat. He's been throwing in the super chats here. Did he get a promotion there, Lorenzo? Club cricket should be a new semi-pro. Are you with us?
Yeah, I can. Sorry, I was muted now. Sorry, man. Yeah, I agree with you. I agree with what you just said, Khalid. And I agree with Lawrence as well. I think they should be more invested in club cricket. I think that's where the youngsters are. And that's, look at Sri Lanka. They get, even Australia, in great cricket, they get a lot of players there from great cricket who's talented. I think we should go the same route because there's a lot of youngsters here, good quality spinners, seamers, batters, that can be the next AB de Villiers, Deval Breakfasts as well. So I think there should be more investment into club cricket.
Can I ask you a question about club cricket quickly? Sorry, Hussein. Can I ask you a question about club cricket quickly?
Yeah, go ahead.
When I pose, like, so I wrote an article about 4 months ago, I think it was, about when we discussed the new divisions that we were going to get. So I said we need to monetize club cricket. I feel like to the degree where we can say, like, for example, if you have a billboard outside the school saying Jason Smith versus Zubair Hamza, the two clubs are going to play against each other. I don't know. I'm just making up something now. It's a draw card to have provincial players playing club cricket, and then you start making money. And then to an extent, what can happen is your first team 11, you're allowed to make transfers. You can buy players from different provinces, etc. I pose that as an idea, but there needs to be a salary cap, and there needs to be a cap on transfers and amount of money you can spend, so that you can kind of control it, so that the smaller clubs don't. The smaller clubs don't get dominated by the big clubs. Put a cap of the amount of transfers you can have and the amount of people you must bring through your system. and improve our club system, cricket system to that extent, so that when club cricketers come out of high school, they don't get into the Western Province team. Western Province Cricket Club, Primroses, whoever it is, can say, you know what, we can pay you a salary. You can play cricket with us. We play every Saturday. You come to training. You get a salary of about 5 to 10K or 10K per month, whatever the case, to play the game. Here you go.
Yes.
Now you're paying your players. Now they have incentive to play and push on for bigger honors. But at the moment, it feels like
Exactly.
club cricket is for guys that have full-time jobs and they want to just play on the weekend. And I feel they may be scared of losing that pastime on the weekends. But when I pose it to some club cricketers, they say, no, that must never happen. Club cricketers must never get paid. It defeats the purpose of club cricket. But I'm like, if we're going to improve cricket in South Africa, we need to start
Yeah.
commercializing certain
Look,
things and bring money
what
into the
they're
game.
doing.
Yeah. Hello.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay, so what they're currently doing with club cricket, they make when these, like Ziad Abrams, who plays with the Rocks, right? He's contracted with us, right?
Oh, okay.
At my local club. But the thing is this: he's contracted with us, but because he plays for Boland, he must be affiliated with the cricket club. So what Boland now doing is this: they just, okay, you at this club, you at this club. Like Christian Jonker, he's at Robertson Cricket Club, right? But they never play for Robertson Cricket Club. Ziad Abrams never playing for us. They just contracted for us because they must be affiliated with the cricket club to play for the Boland franchise. So I think they defeating the purpose by just putting players there, just saying, okay, he's playing for this club, but he's never actually playing for that specific club. And I think that's where the problem comes in. Because
But what about the others? What about the?
there's a lot of youngsters that will love to play with Ziad Abrams. They will learn a lot from Ziad Abrams, but he doesn't play for us. He just contracted with us. You understand what I mean?
But what about the ones that are not making those teams? Like not the Ziad Abramses. What about the next guys? Like the ones that don't make the semi-pro, the Division 2 teams or the Division 1 teams. What happens to them? Why can't they be contracted and put into the system? Because I'm pretty sure our semi-pro team, if we can get majority of our semi-pro players from last season to formulate in their clubs, we'll have much stronger clubs. But there's no incentive for them to go to club cricket at all. At least for semi-pro cricket, you got some money. It wasn't a lot, but it was something.
Yeah, so the example I made earlier about the 822 who's playing for us, he's an all-round spin bowler. He can bat, he smacked the ball a long way. He's a good player. So he plays semi-pro cricket for Boland as well. So I think he earns a wage from Boland, but I think that's not enough, you know. So I think, as I said, I think more should be done for club cricketers. I think with the new T20 league,
if we can make this company something that I really dream of it becoming, I really want to try and make a difference.
No, we can do it
because that's
but as I said, Khalid,
I really want to try and do.
With the new T20 league, with money coming into our local, to the CSA at least, I think they will make a lot of money. I think they should invest in club cricket. They should make club cricket semi-pro level. They should contract those players. They must pay those players, and they must pay them themselves, not the unions. CSA must pay them because we know. I don't want to say
even
something.
If you look at even if you look at the schools, bro, like only like maybe one or two make it to the top. Or even to make it to provincial. Even if you take the school children and give them contracts to play club cricket to keep the level up, you have enough competition to make it interesting. I just think we need to be a little bit more smarter with the way we go forward with this. Let's get your final words in about the game tomorrow, because I know we went off on a tangent. I'm going to start with Hussein, and then we end off with Lorenzo. Just what you're hoping for from tomorrow to see from South Africa. How does South Africa turn this around?
Look, for me personally, I feel tomorrow, day 3 of a test match, and the way that the pitch is playing, day 3 is usually a batting day and the moving day in the game. I feel that we'll bat long. I think our batsmen will prove a point, and the guys will actually come together and actually pull a good score and knock off the deficit and put a bit of a lead going into Sunday. I think we'll bat the whole of tomorrow, and then Sunday first one session we'll take into Sunday, and we'll set them a good enough total. Because, I mean, they have to do it. Otherwise, it's absolutely pointless in playing Hammer.
Lorenzo?
Yes, no, no, I agree with what the gentleman said. Yes, I agree with what he said. We all know Dean Elgar had a howler in the field today with the decision making, but I just have this feeling that he will come good tomorrow. I think he will be determined to lead the team from the front. I think there's one thing you can say about Dean Elgar, right? He's gritty. He won't give his wicket away easily. And normally, even with when we had Faf du Plessis, Abel de Villiers, he was the one guy, especially in second innings, that scored hundreds for South Africa. He was that guy. So I think tomorrow, I think if he bats long, if he gets to 100, we just need two guys with decent scores, and I think we can get to 400, 450, and I think we have the bowlers to blow. So let's not kid ourselves. England is not this strong batting lineup as some people make them out to be. They also have flaws. They also have Alex Lees that's out of form. Zach Crawley, yes, he played a goodish knock yesterday, but he's out of form. So they
Root is
fragile as well.
struggling.
So I just think that yes, Root as well. That's another one. He's struggling as well. So they fragile as well. If we can get a lead of 150 plus, I think with the two spinners we have, and with Anrich Nokia and Kakay Jirabada, there we can do something with those. I must say, Khalid, I'm just a bit disappointed with Lungi and Kiri. Especially in this test match. He got the good, yes, he bowled well yesterday when he got Alex Lees. Good enough. But I just think that that's why I would go with Marco Jansen all day long. He offers you something with the bat as well, but that's a topic for another day. But that's why I say, I rate Lungi and Kiri very, very highly. I think he's a good
also
bowler.
the way he was utilized it well was wrong.
I for sure that I saw that that happening, and it actually did happen. So I'm very disappointed with Lungi. I think with this, because he's that naggy kind of bowler who puts the ball on the same place time and time again. So I just feel that Ben Stokes just lined them up and just got the better of him today. But as I said, we must bet long tomorrow. Come back to tomorrow. We must bet long tomorrow.
Yeah.
We must get 150 plus lead. And as I said to you earlier, Khalid, everyone in the live, please, if you want to clip me. I want no excuses. If our batters don't produce the goods tomorrow, I want no excuses about no, the pitch turned, this. No. The pitch is flat, guys. It's a road.
Yeah,
it's absolutely
but
flat.
It's a
The
road.
batsmen must come to
it
the
is at the moment.
They
but
must come to the
overnight-
party and score big runs.
Overnight, we don't know what's going to happen. If they put the roller on tomorrow and whatever they do, we don't know what's going to happen. We have to also look at it realistically and see what happens on the day, and see what happens. But I mean,
But for the first hour, Khalid, I mean, for the first hour, we
they don't deserve the excuses because of how they batted in the first innings. So that's my take on this. They don't deserve
No, they
excuses
But
because of
for
the
that-
way
for
they
that-
batted in that first
for that
innings.
first hour, it will. No, exactly. But as I said, for that first hour, it will do something. If we can get to lunch, one down, maybe two down is a minimum, I think we'll do good tomorrow. I'm optimistic. I have a good
Zero
feeling,
down
guys.
is the only way.
Zero
I
down.
feel. I think
also
zero
think zero.
down. Yeah, zero down, and then I feel confident. Guys, thanks a lot for tuning
Yeah.
in, coming on the show and having a discussion with us. Thanks a lot, Lorenzo, Hussein, as well as
Thanks.
Ashwani and Aaron as well for coming
Yes,
on the show.
Khalid.
Thank you, Lawrence, for the super
Cheers,
chat
bro.
as well. That really helps us. Don't forget to do everything that you know you need to do. Subscribe to the channel. Click that notification bell for all future videos. Don't forget to go to crickerfanaticsmag.com for all your regular updates. The link is on the screen right now, as well as in the description. Like, comment, share. Also, if you want to help us grow South African cricket, promote South African cricket, go to our Patreon account and become a patron today. Link is on the screen as well. Thanks a lot for watching, everybody. Thank you lots, Hussein, for tuning in as well. And I'll see you guys all again tomorrow with another review show. Take care. Enjoy the weekend, guys. It's a weekend full of sport, and I hope you guys enjoy it. Peace.